It's been a busy few weeks, and I wanted to kind of give you all an update on kind of where things are at. This is my eel. Some of y'all may have seen this eel that I did. I pushed out to a video. I'm going to show you this so that you can mess with it as well. It's on the share under Proximals eel 01. I also want to show this. This is new. So when I'm working on a project and I got lots of stuff happening, a lot of times I just want to get back to whatever file I have open. And so that's what this is. It just pops back to whatever open file is. So I wanted to thicken up his body a bit. So I'm going to save a new version. I'm going to make a thumbnail. I'm going to shape this up a bit. I'm going to remake that thumbnail. Go to data. Cool. Let's see. So this block is a new preset. There's not a whole lot to it yet, but it's called the segment swim. There's a new attribute on this called where is it at? Special swim wave sign. This isn't wired up yet, but it does do some things on the build during the setup. So this is the first pass of this. I have this just on so that it's doing those things. The main thing it's extending the end for getting a better fall off on the tail tip on the ribbon. Speaking of that, there's some new options that if you haven't been on top of things you may not have noticed. So segments now have, for those of you who don't know, the way that a segment works is you have your FKIK chain that has a blend chain, and then under that chain we have our actual joint chain. That's either, up to this point, it has mainly been done by a ribbon. I added some new options in the last couple weeks, so I wanted to kind of say what those were. So segment type ribbon is the default. Parent is if you have the same number of joints as you do controls, then you can do a parent setup, which is going to not actually build that under level, which can result in a faster setup and a more one-to-one feel when you're manipulating those chains. So that's a new option. Another option is the curve setup, which uses our new curve segment setup rather than the ribbon, which has some benefits probably in terms of speed because it's not using follicles, but doesn't have, for our swim stuff, we need the ribbon because we're doing a blend shape. It'd probably work in the curve. I just haven't tested it because that curve setup doesn't use a skin cluster. It uses just clusters on the CVs, so I'm not sure that will work yet. So for now, keep that on ribbon. But I just wanted to show that I wanted to make a chain on a couple changes on this because I thought it was a little bit thin. Let me get it in. So I'm going to save that. For those of you who don't know, this is something I do quite a bit now. You know, we do have our typical send to build here, but I also can do it from here. So if I'm using the MyPy standalone setup to do my builds, so I'll just send it to build, and I got all my check marks, and yeah, I was doing all that stuff. So I'm sending it to build real quick, and I'll be right back. All right, have a build. It doesn't show up until I refresh it. Oop, I hit the wrong button. Refresh. I also wanted to show, so if you have your own project set up, what you can do is just right-click that and say send to project, and you can send it to your own project. Because on the MissMaker Share, you all don't have write ability, so just send the files to your own project so you can edit them at will and do your own stuff. Let's go load up the build. Let's see what we got. World stuff, hide, got our lights, turn off wiring from unshaded. Alright, so he's a little thicker, looks a little better. There's this weird bug, I gotta figure out why it's doing it, but on, when you build the puppet mesh via standalone, the colors don't get set, and I don't know why, and I haven't got a chance to look into it. So if I want to do that, I would just say unified skin, and it's going to rebuild it. Oh, no, I have this on default material, but it would not have been yellow before. It's a common thing I deal with, and it's annoying, but it's not a big deal because the puppet mesh builds really fast. So here's our base rig. Let's see. So this I found for the IK. If I just put this into cog space, I like my results better in the IK mode. It's more localized. I've been playing with where things are at, so it's not set in stone yet. But let's see. Feels pretty good. But how the swim setup works, that's really what I wanted to show, is I have a post call that I'm using, and I will have it in the post on Patreon. But the meat of it is, 1 second, there we go. This is the meat of it, and I'm going to try a sign on this one. And so it's, you just need the control surface. So depending on your setup, you would need to find that. And where you would find that would be under the master, rig, parts. So this is my spine part in that rig null. There's going to be, if you have a double chain, you're going to have two. It's going to be the rig one, not the IK. And then this is going to be the where it's going to be, and you'd want this surface is what you're attaching this to. So that's this first argument. Don't worry about that. This is the kind of deformer. So this is actually for the second one is for the settings. I have it now where it automatically pulls it via the data because it has the module. But if you wanted to put the swim controls on a specific control, that's what this would be for. This is the deformer. It's currently sign and wave. Base name, and then the module, which is going to be, this is my module. But if you changed it for your own project, you would need to do that. So I'm going to change this to a sign, and I'm going to say go. And so what that's going to do is going to set up that structure, kind of what you've seen. I don't have this yet, setting up the like mapping, connecting the controls to the puppet structure yet. That's something I will add. But it does add this. So like I have this settings control that I've been using, and this is kind of how my first pass at least. This is like the swim handle. And this is the actual deformer. So typically you're going to want to align this to, depending on your flow, you're going to want to align it to the body. Because if I turn on swim, that's going to turn on the blend shape. And so, yeah, that looks terrible. So that's not what we want, because it's not going with the deformation. So this is what we want. So I'm going to rotate this. I don't want that. I want it like this. Like this. I need to make it where it does a better job of figuring it out, but I don't have that yet. There's an aim. So what the aim does is it's going to aim to the end of the chain. So typically what's going to happen is when you have the this in FK mode, which is what we're going to probably have it in most of the time. Mesh selection joints. You're going to want it to aim along the trajectory of the body. So that's what that is. But you see that, hey, it's kind of waffling in the wave here, which you could use for something. If you had a flag or something, that'd be fine. But what we want to do is we're going to extend this. So we're going to send our high bound other way, low bound. There it goes. See, there's this second curve, and I want this to go back. I think I have a bug. Like, this isn't aligning quite right. I think I need to fix something in that. This is the proxy. Turn off the proxy. There we go. But I do need to check that orientation on those because I've been working on some of that. But anyway, so we have our. So now it's got the body, but there's kind of a weird feel to it. So you kind of just want to play with your length to get out like what kind of feel you want. So again, this is the sign setup, and then you can play with. So where's my low bound? I want the low bound, but I'm going to take the high bound down. So that's going to take this front end, so it's not going to be doing as much. I kind of want that reversed, so I'm going to flip this around. Oop, not that. I want to flip this around. And then I'm going to move this back this way. So this is not a... I've been playing with the wave one more, so this is a little bit different. So this is probably more to be what I want. So I have more of a stable head, but I have more of the flow in the body. And so this is just a subjective thing of trying the different settings so you find something that works. The swim is actually just turning on and off that blend shape. So what it's doing is it's creating a duplicate of the ribbon, and then it's applying the deformer to that ribbon. And then, so here's our surface. That swim ribbon is getting fed back into our original ribbon as a blend shape. So after whatever is happening on that ribbon, gets that blend shape added, and our joints ride that ribbon. Is how we get that motion onto our actual rig, if that makes sense. So again, this is the sign setup. I might play with, I'd probably play with it some more. But I wanted to show you as well how we would do kind of the, what I've been showing in the demo, the body flow to it. So real quick, I'm just going to set a few keys. Set one on that. Let's go 200, and I'm going to come back to center. And I'm going to parent this to that because I feel like that works better. And I want to have time for that to align back, but I'm going to come out here, and then I'm going to come up here, and then I'm going to come down here. I'm going to kind of, when I'm coming this way, I'm going to kind of arc this so it kind of flows to it. And then when I go up, I'm going to angle up. And then when I go down, I'm going to angle down. So again, this is not amazing animation. I'm just setting some very minuscule keys. Alright, so I've got that kind of very basic flow, which looks terrible. But then what I'm going to do is go to filter tool. And I've already set up a filter on this asset, so I would just load it. And it's going to be in that eel template folder, I think I put in there. Now, where did I put that? One sec. I am wrong. I did not save it. I have the one from Dolphin, and I guess I just worked off that one. So I'm going to make one real quick. So I'm going to go to Dolphin, and I'm going to open the Dolphin filter. I don't need all these extras, so I'm going to delete that, and that, and that, and that, and that. Alright, so make sure the names are proper. So I got my cog. Yeah, size. When I'm doing sizing, I like to, there's a query here for size. So this is, the full size is 73. This is bigger than that, so I'd probably go like half. So I'm gonna say 50. But he's got his body. This is on the dolphin, so we're gonna go 150. We're gonna try that. And then this one is going backward as well, because this is kind of a reverse spine, so I got my direction right. And then my body, let's see if this is the same. Spine 1 through spine, what's our last one? Tail. Well, we're just going to do them all. So I'm going to select this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, and the tip. And I'm going to set those. And I'm going to have my average length. Sure, that's fine. I just want to kind of show you this how it works. So I'm going to save this. Then this is going to make animation layers when we bake this. So we're going to do a bake. It's going to take a sec. I'm going to pause while it's going. Alright, so what that does is it creates our follow on the body via the animation filters. So I have both those layers, and I can blend them out and blend them back on, but they're pretty much just following whatever the trajectory is. That's what the dragger filters for. We use these all the time. You should definitely play with them if you want to do like fast secondary stuff. They work great. But typically what I'll do is I'll iterate on this, and then I'll save this as a setup. So I'm going to go ahead and save this as eel. It's going to be under eel filters. I saved over my dolphin one, so I'm going to pull that back via Dropbox. And I'm going to call this eel 0829. Okay. And let's see. Yeah, it's there. Cool. So on a project, we'll have filters set up per character, so we have consistent results between shots. That's kind of what we do. So you see this feels like it's going a little bit fast, so I'll probably take the speed down to like maybe 25. Still feels pretty fast. Oh, we're playing crazy speed. Let's see. Real time. We were playing at like double side, so yeah, that's not as bad. It's probably a little faster. There we go. So this is kind of how I did that little test you might have seen. I just got a fatter eel now. And so I would just iterate, and I'd say, oh, you know what? I want to have different breakdown of FK joints. I want to have more joints in the body. I want to try some different pivots where I'm setting things up. Oh, I want to try a wave deformer next time. And that's kind of how we work with Miss. It's supposed to be an iterative process. Our first build is never going to be our best build. But yeah, I like that body being thicker than what I had online. What else? We're doing a pass right now on optimization. I've been working with one of our users, Ben, and we're going to have some recommendations for y'all for how to improve your speeds. On the game side, we really don't have any speed issues. Things are pretty fast, but we have a couple of users doing a lot higher fidelity work, and we're seeing some slowdown, and so we're trying to find some ways to optimize. So we've been looking at some files and how we can do that. So making good progress there, and hope to have an update on that soon. But this is it for now. Again, the dolphin, the shark, and the eel templates are up if you want to play with them on the MissBaker Share patrons. Love to see if you make something, and share your settings. I guess that's it for now. Hope everyone has a good weekend.